Days after the Kenyan President William Ruto bowed to public pressure and agreed to withdraw the controversial finance bill that sparked massive unrest, protesters across the country embarked on a planned anti-government demonstrations. What started as a social media campaign in Kenya soon morphed into a week-long violent protest that led to fatalities and the torching of government buildings. Protesters have vowed not to back down even after President William Ruto withdrew his assent to a controversial finance bill on Wednesday. The bone of contention has been a bill to raise taxes across board, otherwise known as the Finance Bill 2024. So, what is this Finance Bill and why are people so angry? Let's find out. The Finance Bill 2024 was introduced to the National Assembly on 9th of May 2024. In Kenya, a finance bill is usually presented to Parliament before the beginning of the financial year that runs from July to June, laying out the government's fiscal plan. This bill aims to generate an additional $2.7 billion in taxes. The government says the bill is meant to plug Kenya's ballooning budget deficit and reduce reliance on borrowing. Currently, Kenya's public debt stands at 68% of the GDP, significantly higher than the 55% recommended by the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. The situation is so dire that the country had to turn to the IMF for help, which has made raising revenue a precondition for further assistance. But Kenyans are worried. They fear the tax hikes in the proposed bill could cripple an already weakened economy and worsen the hardship for over 7.8 million Kenyans living in extreme poverty. While finance bills in Kenya have faced opposition in the past, the intensity and scale of the current protests are unprecedented. The government has dropped some of the contentious proposals, but the protesters want the entire bill scrapped. Part of the initial proposed bill sought to introduce a 16% sales tax on bread and a 25% duty on cooking oil. There was also a planned increase on the tax on financial transactions, as well as a new annual tax on vehicle ownership, amounting to 2.5% of the value of the vehicle. Another key provision of the bill is a charge on products called the Levy. The tax targets most manufactured goods, including sanitary towels and diapers, that contribute to waste and harm the environment. After an outcry, the government said the levy will only apply to imported goods. The Levy was also aimed at electronic products, including mobile phones, cameras, and recording equipments. This was also met with stiff resistance as citizens pointed out their reliance on these products for their livelihood. The bill also introduces a 16% tax on goods and services for direct and exclusive use in the construction and equipping of specialized hospitals with a minimum bed capacity of 50. Kenyans worry that this could mean a higher healthcare cost. The bill also proposes an increase in import tax from 2.5% to 3% of the value of the item to be paid by the importer. This rise comes just a year after the rate was reduced from 3.5% to 2.5%. So, why are people so angry? Well, the discontent goes beyond the bill. This is more about a simmering frustration that has built over time. Kenyans are fuming over a government they feel have been ignoring their plight and frustrations for decades. Ruto's attempts to justify the hikes by comparing them to what has been obtained in other African countries have fallen on deaf ears. Last year, a financial law that introduced unpopular taxes also sparked protests. Ruto has also offered to engage leaders of the youth-led protests, but without saying when. Well, we hope that the government and all the parties involved will find a way to resolve these issues so that peace and calmness will be restored to Kenya.